Alright, now back in the day, I used to be a porter in the service department of a car dealership. And for those of you that don't know, a porter was like the lowest form of life on the car dealership food chain, if you will. I had to do basically what everybody said. I had to clean up after a bunch of drunk mechanics all day long. Hey you, stupid idiot! Pick up my candy wrapper that I just threw on the floor. But one of the highlights of being a porter at a car dealership was that I got to test drive customer cars after they were fixed. Hey you, stupid idiot! Go drive this Ford Focus around and see if you can hear a squeak noise. I'm gonna go head down to the liquor store, or I'm gonna go take my lunch break, so you better be here when I get back. So luckily for me, that's when I got to get out of the car dealership, and I got to drive around the city and get paid for it. And you bet your ass I would live my best life while I was doing it. I'd turn up the car radio as loud as I wanted to, light up a cigarette in the car, I didn't give a shit. 45 minutes later, I'd pull back into the car dealership all nonchalant. Well, how'd it go? Did you hear any squeak noise? Squeak noise? What squeak noise? Oh, shit, yeah, that's right. Nope, sure didn't. I guess you fixed it. Oh, well, hooray, hooray, I solved another case. Now pick up my old Milwaukee cans all over the ground, you piece of shit. Yeah, so needless to say, test driving cars would pretty much be the highlight of my job. And hell, I got to drive some pretty sweet cars while I was at it. I was driving people's super expensive cars, some old-ass Mustangs. What the hell am I doing in this old-ass Mustang, huh? Who the hell would let this 20-year-old piece of shit drive that thing? Hell, one time I even got to drive a fucking dump truck around the city. Can you imagine that? I felt like I was in a goddamn Twisted Metal video game, for Christ's sake. But I have to admit that it wasn't always cool cars that I had to test drive. Sometimes they would indeed be pieces of shit. I've driven cars that have been used as ashtrays for like a decade, and I've driven cars where I've been up to my asshole in garbage. Hell, one time I had to test drive a car that was not only filled with garbage, but there was like a pan of like old moldy fucking lasagna sitting in the passenger seat. I had to drive that car with the heat on and the windows up because there was a fucking intermittent clicking noise with the blower motor. Yeah, imagine that shit. Imagine if like the inside of Rosie O'Donnell's belly button suddenly became a vehicle and you had to climb up in that bitch and drive it around. But I have to say, sometimes it wasn't how gross the car was on the inside. Sometimes it was what was on the outside of the car that was the problem. Like, for instance, one time I had to test drive a lime green Ford Fiesta, and if that already wasn't gay enough, there was a big vinyl sticker on the back windshield that said, "If you're gonna ride my ass, at least pull my hair." Oh, god damn it. It was a real rootin' tootin' time, let me tell you. Sitting at red lights, people fucking honking at me left and right and shit. Hey there, sugar tits, I'll be your huckleberry. Oh shit, never mind, you're a fucking piece of shit 20-year-old man, what the hell? But I gotta say, that decal was kind of a walk in the park compared to another car that I had to drive. They had a bumper sticker on the back that said, "I heart crack horse." That's right, there's no nuance there. I heart crack horse, just straight to the point. Look, I even fucking took a picture of it, alright? There's proof. I rode the crack whore car. Hooray! Yeah, for sure, that was another real rootin' tootin' time, let me tell you. Hey, me too, buddy! Hooray for the crack horse, hooray! So every day, I really didn't know what kind of car I was gonna have to test drive that day. I didn't know if it was gonna be the fucking speed racer car, or if it was gonna be Fred Arnold's nasty truck, where he kept the bucket inside that he pissed and shit in. Who's to say? I don't know what's on the schedule. But it is worth noting that I did have a favorite type of car to test drive, and that, of course, would be
the cop cars.
You see, our dealership would work on the city cop cars all the time, and anytime a mechanic would be like, "Hey, I need somebody to test drive this cop car." "Me, I'll do it, I'll fucking do it. I will impersonate a police officer, I'll do it, let me do it." Now, if you guys have never driven a police car around the city before, holy hell, it's like you have superpowers. Everybody in your vicinity is all of a sudden the best driver in the world. Everybody's got their seatbelt on, and they're 10 and 2-ing it like perfect little angels. Now, I know it's not nice, but my favorite thing to do while test driving a cop car was to pick one random driver on the road and just follow that motherfucker everywhere he went. Just make somebody's life absolute hell for the next 20 minutes, why not? Aw, man, why is this motherfucker following me? Aw, man, I bet it was that time I took a shit in that urinal at Denny's. God damn it, what was I thinking? Sometimes I'd fucking hold a gun up, too, just to add more pressure to the situation. I'd always think about chirping the siren and try to get their ass to pull over. "I'm sorry! It was just a joke! Nobody even fucking eats at Denny's anymore!" Now, of course, I never fucking pulled anybody over. That's a felony, you son of a bitch. But goddamn, it sure would have been a good time. Well, driving a cop car around was all fun and games for me, until the one day where I pulled up to a red light next to another fucking cop car, with a real cop inside of it. I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, and I can tell this cop is like, did this motherfucker just steal a cop car? Am I about to have to bust his ass right now? So without even thinking, I just roll down the window like, "Hey, I didn't steal it! I work at a car dealership, it's getting fixed, please don't shoot me in the face, holy fuck!" And this cop, I shit you not, was like, "Yeah, well, don't be doing any cheeky shit in that police car, right? You fucking retard." All right, he didn't call me a retard, but that was pretty much the sentiment of what he was saying. It's like this cop looked at me and he was like, I bet this motherfucker's following people around in a cop car. What a piece of shit. So naturally, I took that cop's warning and, did absolutely nothing about it. But I'm still gonna follow people around in a cop car, right? It's not illegal for me to follow people in a public street, is it? Huh? What is this, fucking Pakistan? You can't have fun anymore? So that's it. That's what it was like, test driving cars for a living as a broke-ass porter at a car dealership. And if you think I'm an asshole for the way I test drove cars, well, that's pretty fair. Just know that karma did eventually take a huge bite out of my ass just a few years ago when I brought my car into the dealership for an intermittent check engine light. And yeah, you guessed it, a 20-year-old dumbass porter test drove my car around and promptly turned in front of a giant fucking bus. Now, luckily, nobody was hurt in the situation, but my car was definitely fucked 6 ways to Sunday. So yeah, there's karma right there, huh? The world works in mysterious ways. That's what I get for being a piece of shit. The end.